What's up, guys? Today I'll be doing a review of the HITNMOVE Boxing Reflex Trainer. So stay tuned. So before I give you guys a full review of this HITNMOVE Boxing Reflex Trainer, I'm gonna give you guys a close-up of it to show you what it includes. So starting at the very top, you have a solid foam ball that is very nice and firm. And this is gonna be your head target. That's gonna simulate the head target that you have there. It has kind of this texture on the outside. It is a synthetic material, kind of similar to the ringside one. Attached to the bottom of it is a steel heavy-duty spring that is covered with a foam collar to protect your hand or your gloves from hitting the metal. And basically that spring right there is basically so it can rebound back and give you some flexibility when you hit it. And it's been really durable. So you can see that it does vibrate a little bit when you hit it, which is gonna happen really with any kind of reflex type device. So dropping down to the actual spinning bar, this bar itself is, I believe, 26 inches in length to simulate someone's arms. Primarily, the way it spins, you're looking at it more or less for like hooks. So if a hook is coming, you wanna make sure you bob and weave. But the other good thing is if it's sticking straight out at you like it is right now, you can use it for slipping. So you can slip punches and go to the body down to this pad, or you can slip punches and you can go to the head. So you have multiple uses with the spinning bar, and it has a really nice dense foam, a synthetic outside material. It's not genuine leather. The great thing that they include with this HITNMOVE is they give you this extra safety padding that you can slip over it. So first is gonna be this main pad, which obviously is gonna be a little bit thinner in diameter. But on top of that, they'll give you this extra pad so that if you're working on it and you just need a little bit of extra safety padding, you do have that option. And this is made of a synthetic material as well, and uses a zipper to open and close. So you can see, I'd say the padding on this is maybe about 1/4 inch of light density padding. And again, it just really slides right over the arm with relative ease. And that's pretty much it. So you have that extra padding. And then you have the main portion, which is really high quality steel ball bearings. And this was actually, I believe, either developed and made in Japan. So this is Japanese ball bearings that they use. You have this nylon which attaches to the other side, which also has a zipper closure, which is more of kind of like an oval target. So this is when you're up a little bit closer and you need this bar to kind of come back around to you. You don't have to wait for the bar. You actually have a secondary target. Unlike the spar bar, which doesn't have this, you have actually 2 targets with this. So you can hit that and you can simulate maybe throwing a jab and then blocking with your right hand. So you're basically throwing a jab and getting ready for your opponent to counter with you. So it's a little bit of offense and defense built into it. So that's really nice. Then you have the adjustment knob for the height of it. So you can adjust this all the way from as low as 42 inches all the way up to 74 inches. So you have a really nice range of height adjustment. Down below is going to be the torso pad, which has a nice firm density. You could definitely work body shots and kicks with this. I would just make sure that if you are doing kicks and body shots, that this thing is meant to take some pretty good hard shots, but I wouldn't sit there and just throw primarily haymakers at this. It can take some abuse for sure, but to me, the point of this is to really work on your targeting, really precision, and then working on your defense. So, but it does have some nice density, and I have been able to hit it with a good amount of power. Going down below, you have this really nice thick tubular steel that's welded down to this base plate. And you have these acorn nuts that connect it to these shock absorbers. And you can see the springs right here. And the great thing about that is that it basically takes the force of your punches or your kicks or your strikes, if you want to call it, and really reduces it before it gets to the bottom base plate. So you have this base plate that uses machine screws that connects to the water or sand filled plastic basin. With this fully filled, just depending on how much you fill it with, you're looking at probably anywhere between 100 to 140 pounds fully filled. They also include a rubberized mat. So if you have a floor like mine in my garage where it's slick, you can put this rubberized mat down and put the base of it on top so it prevents this from sliding around. So I really like the fact that they give you extra accessories to include to make the setup just more satisfying to use. So you have the rubberized mat, so you prevent that from shaking, as well as little added parts like this little pad right here and the extra safety padding. So there you have it, man. Let's go ahead and do the review. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on this HITNMOVE Boxing Reflex Trainer. I've had this reflex trainer for I'd say about 2 months now, and it's been a great piece of equipment, a great addition to my home gym here. Now I have all kinds of different bags I train with, heavy bags, double end bags, speed bags, Cobra bags, reflex sticks, grocery bags, whatever bag you want to call it, I usually train with it, outside of me training with my coach doing mid sparring. But there's none that actually does what this piece of equipment does, that is able to really blend both your offense and your defense together seamlessly. So that's, to me, what makes this great. Obviously, outside of sparring, which is the closest thing you'll ever get to a real fight, this piece of equipment does an excellent job at being able to develop those other skills that you typically don't get out of like a traditional heavy bag. Now with that being said, I gave you guys a close-up of this already. Before I actually get into the review, this piece of equipment costs $499 on the HITNMOVE website. You guys could check it out. Obviously, I'll put the link in the description box. If you guys are interested in purchasing it, there's also a 20% off discount code you can use. Make sure you guys use it. csquaredboxing is the code. So if you are interested in that, make sure you use that discount code, save yourself some money. Now, with that being said, you can see I already showed you guys a close-up of this. I'll kind of give you guys a breakdown, starting off with the actual height adjustment. Now, I'm 5'8", and just to kind of give you guys a reference, the bar at its lowest setting is about 42 inches. You can see that this punch ball at the top is about as tall as me. I'd say it's about 5'6". So that's the lowest setting you can get it at. Now, the tallest setting, you can see it goes really high, and it has an actual bump stop to prevent this bar from just kind of flying right off. And you can see that it gets really high. I mean, I can foresee a heavyweight, someone that's like Deontay Wilder's height, was he's like 6'8", 6'9", that can use this pretty comfortably and not have any issues with it. So I definitely love the fact that you have that full height adjustment, which is really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right there, right at about my shoulder level. Now, obviously I showed you guys the ball, the spinning arm. The one thing that really stuck out to me with this reflex trainer is the quality is top notch, especially compared to like my ringside Cobra bag and just the Title Cobra bag that I was using. One thing you'll notice is that the steel on here and the aluminum pieces that they use is much more thicker and commercial grade. Like the bearing they use is from Japan, and then they also are integrating a new iron bar that they're going to use. That's going to be even stronger than this existing setup. Obviously, they use a steel spring for the actual top reflex ball portion of this, and then you also have this extra safety padding sleeve that they include for those of you that want that extra padding just in case you get hit in the head. The actual bar itself is about 26 inches in length. The great thing about this is they also integrated the oval pad on the other side of the bar, so you can work on working counters while punching. So again, that same concept of, don't hook with a hooker. You can kind of use that same concept with your defense and your offense with this. So you have that extra sleeve. I definitely love the fact that you're getting extra accessories. You have that adjustment knob. Then you have this nice belly pad that has good firmness to it. Good for kicks, good for punches. For me, this is going to be where I use a lot of my shovel hooks, integrating my hooks to the body, bang, and then maybe moving up top to work in the head, bang, bang, boom, right hand to the head. So excellent belly pad there. You have the welded on steel base plate. It's nice high quality. The shock absorbers that connect to that using these acorn nuts. And then you also have the metal base plate here that covers the plug for the plastic base. You can fill that with water or sand. When it's fully filled, just depending on how much you put in here, it's on average 100 to 140 pounds, just depending on how much you fill it with. And then lastly, another great accessory they include this rubber mat. For those of you like myself that has more of kind of this slick floor in your garage, if you have a floor that's more textured or it's on carpet, it may be better because you won't have that same sliding that you get with a slicker floor. But for me, I ended up using this rubber mat. and it works really well. So I'm gonna stop talking and show you guys how this thing actually works. The biggest thing with this reflex trainer, to me, is going to be the spinning bar. Obviously, it's probably the biggest thing that stands out. And actually, I'm gonna take off the sleeve because I don't like using the sleeves. Me personally, I like to know when I get hit. That tells me I screwed up and I should have moved better, or moved out of the way, should I say. So the great thing about this is you can see that the bar has a nice spinning action. It's nice and smooth. You can work your jabs with the right hands. You can work going to the head. One thing you'll notice is there's a little bit of a difference in height. So that's something you have to get used to as well. Not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a thing. Is that if you're simulating hitting somebody with this bar, the head is about, I'd say, another 12 inches up higher. So when you're bending to weave underneath it or bob underneath the arm, you have to account that you're going to be hitting up higher, regardless of what height you are, just because this bag naturally sits up higher. So when you're hitting it, you're going to be throwing it at a higher trajectory, which is kind of a good thing. You're going to get a little bit more of a conditioning workout because it's forcing you to raise up your shoulders and punch up higher. So keep in mind that when you're hitting it down here and you hit that target, you're going to go up a little bit higher. The other great thing is working the body. So not only are you working on moving underneath, boom, 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 boom. You can work the body. You can work defense. So what I said earlier, the whole hooking with the hooker, you can work on throwing your jabs, and then obviously that counter punch is coming back right at you. So making sure you're defensively sound. And trust me, if you get hit in the face with this, you'll feel it. Just like anything else, you'll feel it, and it'll remind you to put your hands up. Stop trying to look cool. One thing also is it forces you to use your legs and your hips to drop down and get underneath this bar. I like to put mine right about at shoulder height. I mean, essentially this is kind of simulating an arm coming at you, someone's arm punching at you. But I put mine a little bit lower, that way it forces me to really drop down and get down on my knees and really drop down and keep my eyes on target. You can also work on pull counters. So when this bar is coming around, you can work on gauging your distance. Sticking your head out, gauging distance, and then boom, working on counter punches. Boom, boom, boom. Sticking underneath. You can work your footwork with this. Getting underneath your target. Doesn't help that I have a hat on. Whatever. Working on the hooks. Almost got hit. Boom. So you can see just the spinning action itself really forces you to think. And by think, I mean you just got to your body has to get used to that. That this bar is going to constantly be spinning, and you have to work with that. You have to work your offense with your defense together. You can't just go blindly in throwing punches while this bar comes, and then boom, you get smacked right in the face. And again, this bar can be pretty stiff. I mean, there's some foam padding on here, and it has a synthetic case, synthetic leather. That's not genuine leather. But if you get hit in the face with it, you'll definitely feel it. But to me, that's the big thing with this, is you can work on really anything. You can work on your shoulder roll. If you're the type that likes to use the shoulder roll style of defense, you can work on rolling and blocking your hooks. So countering off that, blocking the hooks, you can work on this, ducking underneath the target. Again, it comes around, block that. Roll the right hand, keeping your chin tucked in. Counter off that, coming around. moving. You know, whatever you want to do, you can work it with this piece of equipment. The great thing about the belly pad is that you can land some pretty good shots too. Obviously, it's going to have a little bit of movement to it, which that helps with that rubber pad. So there you have it. I feel that the best part about the Reflex Trainer is going to be the fact that you're now being able to adapt to oncoming punches. You're working your legs a lot more, and it forces you not to be so predictable with how you throw your offense. You can also slip. One thing I wanted to show you is I'll put that straight on with the camera. You can work on slipping as well. So you can keep this stationary and work this as like a slip bar. Getting underneath your target, boom. Getting around it, boom, boom. And you can just work on this if you wanted to. Work on slipping and then pivoting it out and then boom, hitting it. So setting up combinations, not everything has to be fast. You can be smooth about it. And just work on strategy. You know, you're trying to get to the head right here, but this dude's arm is in your way, right? So how am I going to be able to hit him? Obviously, I maybe have the reach advantage, but I still want to be able to get in there. So maybe he's going to throw a punch, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of come underneath and boom, counter over his jab, or his right hand, should I say, boom, counter over his right hand, or his arms there, and then I'll block it, boom, move it out of the way, parry it out of the way, and land a shot to the head. Boom, 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 doggy, and go at it again. So again, you can use this a multitude of different ways to enhance your training. I can slip to the outside right here, bang, go right hand, move back, pivot, boom. So the Hit and Move Boxing Reflex Trainer, I think it's a great device. If you guys are looking for something that is great, kind of all-in-one piece of equipment for your home, this is definitely a good start. The great thing for those of you that may be limited with regular heavy bags, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me, well, I live in an apartment or I live somewhere where I can't hang a heavy bag. I'm looking at getting a freestanding punching bag with the base, you know, like the Centuries and the Texmore one I did a while ago last year. This is definitely a great alternative to that. If you guys are looking to get into boxing, if you're new to it, this is a great piece of equipment as well. You can start off with this. There's some great videos on the Hit and Move website that you can check out and see what kind of basic workouts you can do with this. But I definitely think it's definitely worth it if you're looking for an all-in-one piece of equipment for your boxing needs. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. As usual, I'll put the link in the description box where you can find this Hit and Move Boxing Reflex Trainer. I'll see you guys later. Peace.